River Arts Festival's 15th anniversary digital edition. The festival is sponsored by Haldimand Art Works with support from Heritage Canada. If you're able, please consider making a donation at www.riverartsfestival.ca or by visiting our gallery and gift shop at the Minga in Dunnville. For more information, feel free to reach us on Facebook or Instagram. Make sure to check out our online schedule to tune in to other events from November 7th to 28th, 2020.
Okay, hello and welcome to Riverside Writers part of the Rivers Arts Festival here in Dunnville. I'm Constance Bryce and head of the Riverside Writers that exists here in town now for over 5 years. And I as well have 3 books of poetry in the library. So I will simply flash the books at you and tell you to go to the library, which I'm very proud that I'm in the library. However, now I've moved on. To short stories. And I have 3 of them, which I'm not going to read. I'm only going to read the signature poems that are in the front of each story. Okay. I will hopefully have a new book out with the 3 stories in it by this time next year. I'm really, really hoping. So, the first story is called Dialing Delete, and it deals with dementia and a few comments on religion and sexual orientation. As I said, the signature poem is Dementia, and I'll read it right now. For Dialing Delete, that's the name of the story, but the poem is called Dementia. It's not right, it's not fair, it's not depression, it's despair. And I am well aware that I cannot win, so my emotions continue to spin like a needle, wildly flipping between the 2 polarities of hope and hopelessness. With no way to cope, with no hope, I can't go on. I have sunk too low. There's no way to lift me up above this pain. There's no sanctuary, no resting place where I can evaluate my fate, where I can face my situation with logic and reason to triumph over fear, but the season has long since passed for solutions. Now it's just more moments of delusions. It's not right, and it's not fair. It's not depression. It's realistically despair. So, yes, the second poem I'll read is a signature poem for the second short story in the new book coming out. It's entitled How Feeble is the Flame, and that is the signature poem to go with the story entitled How Feeble is the Flame. It is a continuation of the Walking of the Mighty trilogy. It deals with the How Feeble is the Flame, the mighty. They say the sun burns brightly. I say it just burns. Does it really dispel the darkness, or does the darkness just grow from the ground up? As I sit and ponder such a question, I wonder at the fire, at the flames, at how the darkness encircles it and chokes it, how it triumphs eventually over it, and how feeble is the flame that burns so bright before crashing down into ash. Dead ash. Dark ash. Ash that can't be brought back to what it once was, only scattered, meticulously, and deliberately drowned. Okay, the last poem I'm going to read is a signature poem for the last short story in the new book coming out. It's called Last to Arrive, and the poem is simply called Experiences. Last to Arrive is a romance, my attempt at one anyhow, and again, it has experiences as its signature poem. Okay, experiences. And sometime later, when I can think, then I will cater to the wishes of my soul and be a creator of a book of love. Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Virginia Alfieri Green, and I'm a member of the Riverside Writers with Connie and James Allen Shepherd. And thank you for this opportunity to read poetry today. I appreciate it very much. On this wild and windy day, I chose to read a poem called The Tempest first. And this is a poem about a very, very wild day on the ocean when I was taking a ferry between Black's Harbor, the bottom of New Brunswick, to an island called Grand Manan. This was a number of years ago. There had just been a hurricane was coming, but the ferry still ran. Okay, this is called The Tempest. The sea is in a mood today, a vast expanse of raging fever, brooding, sulking, smoldering, swells of slate gray and briny green, rolling, swollen, cresting and chopping, pitching in contrasting directions, backwards, forwards, flinging, tumbling, crashing into each other, spraying and spitting salty, frothy sea foam into the hazy blue September day. She churns unsettled, bullish, agitated, staggering, perhaps insulted, that old blackie dare plow through her today. She rises up, annoyed, unstable, venting surly emotions, cruel, tossing the old ship resentfully, wanting to be left alone, fierce, to brandish and roar, swish and heave, smashing against the aging hulks, livid. The remnants of yesterday's hurricane stir a fire of passion, meanness. She hurls her whitecaps callously into deep valleys of swirling, lurching depths, then throws herself skyward, bristling, blowing, spilling, hissing, growling, a thrashing melancholy madness of sea, welding her mighty weapon of power into a reeling tempest of fury. Okay, the second one's calmer. This is from a contest I went into. The question was, write about your hometown, or write about something. I think it was about Dunnville. I think it's been a while. Anyway, I call this Hometown Haven. So I'm writing about this town, which is where I was born, and it's been my home for years. There is a haven upon this earth that holds my heart in strength and depth, a port within the storms of life, where I have often fled, where herons light and mudcats splash and reeds rustle with woodwind tunes and blackbirds chorus songs of the river. They echo in my soul, where the streets and corners remember my childhood, the old shrubs and lilacs remember my name, where familiar buildings of long ago smile as I pass by, where Old Church Street and dear 407 still welcome me, embrace, protect me. A fabric of the old town, the weaving of my life, the continuing tapestry unfolds. Blushing petals flower shyly in ancient gardens, and leafy canopies of trees shade the restoring river. My longtime friend, refreshing, a gift to me, like a Sabbath. I've come and gone from many lands, strange vistas, rolling seas. Though wondrous still, a lostness burned, I yearned and dreamed of home. And now, reposed, I lie content, here home beside the Grand.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, this last poem I want to read is in remembrance of my husband, who just died this past June. So I actually wrote this poem 22 years ago to him when I was on the island of Grand Manan, and he was here. He was going to be coming to the island, and I thought I'd write him a poem. So here, 22 years later, I never dreamt to be calling it sort of his memorial poem. But it is called A Love Poem of the Sea, and it's a prose to Tracy. And my husband was Tracy Malcolm Greene. Anyway, here I go. A Love Poem of the Sea. With the cool mist and tide stealing up the bay, and the lonely call of seagulls heralding the day, and the mournful cry of lighthouses warning from the shore, and the ever-faithful ferry blows as she rounds the point once more. In all this morning magic, I see images of you, drifting in with island breezes and falling with the dew. I feel the love you cherish and keep treasured for this place, and I feel my own heart pining for a piece of you, a trace, just some small remnant of your soul that you might keep just for me. in all this marine beauty, in the strong call of the sea. For I love you like the ocean, with its deep, fierce, loyal tides, and I wish us to be forever, as long as wind and sea abide. Thank you.